Hello, students. A very good morning to all of you. Uh, I welcome you all in this lecture, that is of unit number 2 of Electrical Machine 1. So, in my previous series of lectures, I told you one thing that this electrical machine subject is very important in the electrical engineering branch. And as you are the electrical engineer, means you are becoming an electrical engineer. So you have to study the the main subjects. One is the power system, another one is the electrical machines. So electrical machine basically categorized into two parts. One is the machine one, another one is the machine two. Now machines one is basically deals with your uh, DC part, direct current machines, direct current motors, direct current generator, and a little bit of AC, that is transformer. Because transformer doesn't work on DC, it totally works on AC. So basically, if we are talking about the electrical machine one, so in this electrical machine one, basically what we are going to study, we are going to study about the uh, rotating machines and non-rotating machines. So rotating machines are basically the having rotating part. Rotating part means electromechanical energy conversion will be there, and in transformer we having no electromagnetic energy conversion, there is a electromagnetic conversion, because electrical field converted to magnetic field, and that magnetic field again cut and converted into electrical field as per the Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction. So uh, as per my previous lectures, I told you about the first unit deals with the magnetic circuit and magnetic field, basically how magnetic field generated and how magnetic circuit behaves. Okay, so magnetic field we can generate by the two process. One is the permanent magnet, another one is the temporary magnet, that is known as electromagnet, as per the Biot-Savart law. Because Biot and Savart basically states that in their laws that if we flow the current in a coil, that due to that current flowing in the coil, what will happen? We'll find a magnetic field surround that coil. So, as per the Biot-Savart law, we have already studied in the unit number one, Biot-Savart law. Then we having the Ampere's law. Then we having the force law. The force law is continue in this unit. Why? Because in this unit we are going to study about the electromagnetic force and torque. So electromagnetic force, I already told you about how it generates, and due to that magnetic force, what will happen? The torque take place. So that magnetic field and that torque basically give by the force law, and the interaction also comes in the force law. And if we cut the magnetic field and we introduce an electrical field, that is basically stated by the Faraday law of an electromagnetic induction. Okay, so these are the basic thing in this electrical machine one. Now the today's topic which I want to basically teach you, and we are going to study basically, that is the electromechanical energy conversion. Now see here, two basically form of energy are there. Electromechanical means electrical and mechanical. So basically we are converting the electrical power into the mechanical power, and vice versa of it, means electrical to mechanical, mechanical to electrical. And what we are going to do, we are basically converting the energy from one form to the another. If we are converting electrical to mechanical, it means it is a motor. If we are converting or basically doing vice versa of it, basically mechanical to electrical, that is generator. But in transformer, basically we are not doing these things, because there is no rotating part. In transformer we do basically the uh, we can say step up and step down the voltage, means voltage level increasing and decreasing. So corresponding to that, the current level decrease or increase. Okay, so now today's topic is basically the electromagnetic energy conversion. Now if we are going to start something new, or something basically we want to study, that is in a new way. So my objective, my objective of this lecture is the student to understand, help you means the student to understand about basic concepts involved in electromagnetic energy conversion. So basically what I want to tell you in this lecture, or what you want to basically teach you, and you are going to study also, that how the basic concepts involved, basically how we can say that electromagnetic conversions taking place. electrical to mechanical, mechanical to electrical energy is converting. How? So these are some basic concepts involved in this conversion. So we are going to study in this lecture, that is about the electromechanical energy conversion. And secondly, students means you familiar with the process involved in electromechanical energy conversion. What are the process we have? How we are converting basically. Now in the unit number 3, we are going to study about the DC machines. Okay, and fourth motoring and generating both, and fifth is transformer. So DC machines work, how it works basically, how we are converting electrical to mechanical, mechanical to electrical. The one thing is that, my dear students, that if we are converting electrical to mechanical and vice versa of it, so one thing is there, the construction is same. Construction is same. So if construction is same, but we are basically the input process is different. Input process difference means we are converting torque into the voltage, current, power, energy. Okay, in what? In motor. And vice versa means opposite and reciprocal or inverse of it. That is in which we are basically giving input torque and taking output in the electrical form, that is generator. But if in doing the vice versa, inverse of it, means we are giving voltage, current, energy in the input and taking output as a torque, that is your motor basically. So generator motor having the constructions are same, but the working and the basically the laws are different. Okay, so what are the process involved? So we are going to study in this basically our the in this unit. We are going to study this thing. So I hope you understand about this thing. So we are going to study. Okay, now move forward. Electromechanical energy conversion. Now this is the main topic of today's lecture of mine. Now, first of all, if we are going to start something to go, that is a new topic, so we have to introduce this thing. Because if you are going somewhere, if you are going for an interview, then you have to introduce first yourself. So this is a brief introduction of it. Electromechanical energy conversions use a magnetic field as a medium of energy conversion. So at the starting, means in the starting of my this lecture series, I told you one thing, that if I want to convert electrical power into mechanical power and vice versa of it, I need a coupling circuit. I need a what, my dear student? I need a coupling circuit. So that coupling circuit is basically done by, or basically the role play for the magnetic circuit is by magnetic. Basically the coupling circuit role field by the role of coupling circuit is basically maintained or made by the magnetic field. So we need a magnetic field as a medium, as a path through which we can convert energy from one form to the another form. So I hope you understand this thing. Now, electromechanical energy conversion device. Basically, we having the electromechanical energy conversion device means motor and generator. So motor do what? Motor basically convert electrical power into mechanical power. Means input is electrical but output is mechanical. And if we'll talk about the generator, so input of generator is mechanical and output of generator is electrical. So we can say the motor output will be the generator input and generator output will be the motor input. So we can say these things. So electromechanical energy conversion device do what? Do what? Converts electrical energy into mechanical energy, that is motor, or vice versa of it, means convert mechanical energy into electrical energy, that is what? Generator. So this is a basic thing. Now how it take place? Now, three categories of electromechanical energy conversion devices. First is transducer. Now transducer basically you are going to study in the your coming uh, year, basically in the third year in the instrumentation subject. That is, the transducer is basically what? It is a device which is used to convert one form of energy into another form. Device, element, component, what you can say. Okay, so basically transducer we are using for the measurement and control. So basically the transducer which we are using, because we are studying the electrical engineering. and we are in the electrical engineering branch, and we are the students of electrical engineering. So the transducer which I am talking about, that is the electrical transducer. And in electrical transducer, basically we convert any form of thing, energy, that is basically mechanical, acoustic, pressure, thermal, whatever it is, you can directly convert into electrical. So that is the transducer for measurement and control. Okay, so that is the small motion, we can say small work will be there. Now transfer the signals of different forms. Different form, I earlier told you how many forms we have. Examples are microphones, sensors, and speakers. What are the examples we have? Microphones, sensors, and speakers. These are come in the basically transducer. Secondly, force producing devices, that is translational, or we can say translational force. Translational force, limited mechanical motion. Basically, a limited work you can found, limited work. Produce forces mostly for linear motion drives. What did they do? Basically, produce forces mostly for linear motion devices. Small, we can say, limited, we can say. Example: actuators, relay. Relay, you all know, are basically a sensing device. Solenoids and electromagnets. Okay, what are they? Electromagnets. Continuous energy conversion equipment. Now, continuous energy equipments. Okay, so operate in rotating modes, we can rotate it, we are rotating it. Examples are motor and generators. Motor and generator, these are the examples. So I hope you understand this thing. Now next, the energy conversion process. Now energy conversion process is basically done by the basic thing, that is the basic example of is, that is what, the principle of conservation of energy. The principle of conservation of energy. What is it, my dear student? Energy can neither be created or nor be destroyed. Means we cannot create or cannot destroy, but it can only be changed from one form to another. We can convert mechanical to electrical, electrical to mechanical. So we can do, but we can't create or we can't destroy. Therefore, total energy in a system is constant. That is a basic principle of conservation of energy. I hope you understand what I want to say you basically. The principle of conservation of energy. How can we conserve the energy? In which form we can conserve the energy? So the one thing is that neither be created nor be destroyed. Neither be created or nor be destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to the another. So we can convert one form to the another form. Therefore, total energy in a system is what? Constant. It it is constant. So I hope you understand. Now moving forward, these are the basic principle which basically we follows in the conservation, or we can say the energy conversion process. This is the conservation of energy. How can we conserve? But the energy conversion process is basically we are converting from one form to another. That is basically come came from principle of conservation of energy. Okay, now move forward. Now electromechanical converter system has three essential parts. Electromechanical converter, if I am talking about the electromechanical converter is there. Now converter is there means we are converting electrical to mechanical, mechanical to electrical. So converter system has three essential parts. What are the three essential parts? Basically, first is the electrical system. Electrical system is what? Such as windings. We have windings. We basically flow current into it. If current is flowing in that winding, what will happen? It gives you the magnetic field. Okay, and if magnetic field is there, so we can apply electromagnetic force and torque, which I basically told you in the starting of this lecture. Okay, so an electrical system, electrical circuits such as windings we have, coils we have. Okay, a magnetic system or magnetic field in the magnetic core and air gap. So one I need a coil, one I need a windings, then I need a what? Magnetic field in a magnetic course. Magnetic field in a magnetic course and air gaps. Basically, what I'm talking about, the magnetic field in the magnetic core, and what we have, a air gaps. Core is basically a path of flux to move, and air gap will be there because we want to rotate something. Otherwise, friction take place. So first is electrical system. Another one is the magnetic system. Okay, another is your magnetic system, and then a mechanical system. Mechanical system was rotation, mechanically movable parts such as rotor in an electrical machine. So, my dear student, three essential parts are there. First is the electrical system. In electrical system, we need what? We need electrical circuit such as windings. Okay, we have a winding made up of aluminum and copper. Aluminum for the cheaper, for the lower HP motors. But if I'm talking about the higher HP, higher kilowatt or higher kV generators, we have to use copper because copper is a good conductor of electricity. Basically, all metals are good conductor of electricity, my dear students. But one thing is there, aluminum having a low melting point, but copper having the high melting. So instead of aluminum, what we use? Copper for heavy duty machines. We can see in a simple way. So an electrical system, circuit such as windings, first. Secondly, a magnetic system in which we having the magnetic field in the magnetic cores, and we having the air gap. Why having the air gap? See, this is a stator, this is the rotor. If I want to rotate, my dear student, if like this can't rotate, so air gap will be there. So I have to maintain the air gap. Okay, just like this. This is stator, this is rotor. Now I want to rotate this thing. If I look like this, no air gap will be there. What will happen? No, nothing can move. But if there is, it can easily move. So I hope you understand about the magnetic cores and air gap. That basically for the coupling circuit, for the path or for the medium. Okay. Now mechanical system, if it rotates, it means it basically rotating means the torque is there. The torque take place means mechanical movement. Mechanically it is moving. It is moving. In which manner it is moving? In a mechanical form. Okay, such as rotor in DC motor and DC generator. If I'm talking about machine one, if I'm talking about machine two, so rotor and motor, rotor in a AC machines. But in DC machine we called as armature. Instead of rotor, what we can say, we always try to say, or we always basically use a word that is armature and field for the stator. So I hope you understand. Now moving forward, a simple analogy, electromechanical energy conversion. See here, this is your electrical energy tap input. Now this is your field energy. This is what? Field energy. Some can go out, that is thermal energy losses, and another one is basically mechanical. So we can say one tap is filling the one bucket or tank, and we having a another tap, that tank which is filling the something another. From this example, what I want to say you one thing: one tap is there, basically which fills one tank, and through that tank we are filling our the another tank or another system or another buckets, we can say simply we are filling the buckets. So we can say one thing, that is your government, or we can say waterworks, water system, and this is your individual system. So this is a tank which is you fitted in your roof of your house or your home. So what I want to say here, that is the electrical input means the government thing. Then we having the bucket which is the storage and convert which we want, that is field energy, and the losses we have, some losses will be there. Okay, that is the thermal, and then it is converted into what? Mechanical. So electrical and mechanical we need a medium, and medium is basically what? The coupling circuit, and coupling circuit is what? Magnetic field, magnetic circuit. So I hope you understand the whole diagram in a very simple way. I basically use this diagram to basically tell you the simple thing, to understand the simple thing. Okay, now moving forward, this is basically the electromechanical energy conversion process. What is it, my dear student? That is the basically the electromechanical energy conversion process. How it take place? This conversion processes take place how, my dear student? This energy conversion process take place like this. Electrical system, if I'm talking about the electrical system, so we having voltage and current. If I'm talking about the electrical system, my dear student, so it means I'm talking about the voltage, current, power, resistance, impedance, energy, whatever. But the two basic thing is voltage and currents. And then we apply what? We apply some circuit equation, that is Kirchhoff voltage law and Kirchhoff current law. Okay. Then we having the electromechanical system, in which we are basically converting electrical power into the mechanical power and vice versa. Means I want to convert the electrical power into the mechanical power and mechanical power into the electrical power. So electrical to mechanical we all know, that is motor, and mechanical to electrical, that is generator. But how it take place? See here, my dear student. We having the electrical system. In this electrical system, we having voltage and currents. Then we having the equations which we want to basically apply to solve the circuit. That is Kirchhoff voltage law and Kirchhoff current law. I hope you know about this thing because we have already studied these things in our first year. Okay, so electromagnetic system consists of magnetic system. This is the important thing, the main part, in which we having the coupling circuit, that is magnetic system, magnetic field, magnetic circuit, and in this we having the magnetic flux. Okay, now if magnetic flux is there, it basically produce what? Force or torque. It basically produce what, my dear student? It basically produce you what, my dear student? See, it basically produce you the force and torque. Okay, and mechanical system is basically the position, speed, and acceleration, force, torque equation, and Newton law. So it basically do what? It is look like this. So if I'm compare the second diagram with this, so what we having? For example, I'm taking an example of motor. Okay, so in motor, what happened? Basically we having the stator, that is known as field. In that field we having the field show. Later on I'll tell you in the third or fourth unit basically, but the basic thing which I want to basically clarify, that is why I'm telling you the thing. In that electrical motor, basically we give input is electrical and taking out is a mechanical. So the best example for this is motor. So in this motor, what we do basically, first, we having a winding which is basically placed on a stator, that is field, and we are basically want to make electromagnet. In the previous lecture or series of lecture, or we can say the unit number 1, I already told you one thing, my dear student, that if I want to create a magnetic field, or if I want to make a magnetic circuit, okay, so magnetic field and magnetic circuit behaves like a coupling circuit, or we can say the medium path. But if I want to make the medium path, my dear student, though I have need two things. One, permanent magnet or electromagnet. So permanent magnets are basically, we can say, available in the market, but not in a vast amount or not in a very large size. So we can make electromagnets with the use of ferromagnetic material. Okay, so how can we make? As per the Biot-Savart law. As per the Biot-Savart law, basically, if we flow current in a winding, through that, what happened? That current meet with the turn of that coil or winding. So ampere turn take place. Ampere turn is there, and we having the magnetic core which is made up of ferromagnetic material. Iron for small size, but for the higher size we having steel. Okay, and for more higher, then we use steel sheets. Okay, so we basically wound a winding on it. If current flows in that winding, so current meet the turn, we also called as ampere turn. That ampere turn is basically in a magnetic field with their reluctance. We can say the ratio of that will give you what? Will give you the flux. And if flux is there, then we have the flux density. That is what? Flux per area, Weber per meter square. And before this, we having the intensity, that is mm per length, 80 by meter, 80 per meter. Okay, ampere per meter. So it will take place, and if that magnetic field is there, and a current carrying coil plays in a magnetic field, though it experience a force, Lorentz force, I already told you. And if force is there and it is perpendicular, what will take place? the torque take place. And if one thing is at the initial position, and if I move like this with the force, so what happened? It moved like this. First, the position is this one, second is this one. So what will happen? The displacement. If force is there, a particular displacement is there, we can say F cross the vector quantity. What will take place? Torque take place, my dear student, torque. And due to the torque, what will happen? The rotor start rotate. That is the basic theory in motor. So I want to explain this thing with the help of the example of motor, but it is in take place in electromechanical energy conversion. So see here, my dear student, that is the force, mechanical system, position, speed and acceleration, force, torque and Newton laws. So this is the basic concept. Okay. Now the another concept is this energy conversion process. So how take place? First is the electrical system. So we having the electrical losses. So we having the electrical losses. So my dear student, first current meet with the coil. If coil having some resistance, though we having the copper loss. Why copper loss? Because that winding is made up of copper. Okay, and the loss is basically the heat loss. That is I square R. That is what, my dear student? I square R. Then it convert into the magnetic field or magnetic system. Then we having the field losses. Now if I'm talking the magnetic losses or magnetic field losses, though they are two types, we also called as magnetic losses, core losses, okay, and iron losses also. So three losses are same, because in the ancient time we use uh, iron for the core preparation, core making or manufacturing of core. Okay, so it is known as iron loss. And in this small transformer, in the small motor, we use iron instead of steel chip. So we can say iron losses. Now it take place in the core, so core losses. Okay, and it is in the magnetic field system or magnetic system, so we also called as magnetic losses. So magnetic losses having two types: hysteresis and eddy current. Eddy current is the leakage current, as I earlier told you frequently, and hysteresis due to the reversal of magnetics. So these two losses take place in a magnetic field. First, in an electrical system, having the electrical loss, that is core loss, that is copper loss. Then it basically meet with the core, that is magnetic system. Magnetic field take place due to the Biot-Savart law. Okay, then flux is there. If flux is there, then two losses take place: eddy current and hysteresis. Eddy current and hysteresis. Now, force apply, torque converted into torque. The rotor start rotate. Now it converted to the mechanical system. It converted into the mechanical system. So though we are having the mechanical losses, here we have the windage and friction losses. So we can say the mechanical losses. So electrical loss, magnetic loss, and mechanical losses. Three losses are take place. Why? Because we are having the three categories, three systems here. First is the electrical, then converted to magnetic, then converted to the mechanical. So all three are playing an important role. And if they are playing an important role, though we can say the losses also take place. Okay, now see here, then we get the torque output, that is P mechanical. The energy transfer equation is as follows. Now how we follow an energy equation? See here, electrical energy input from source, that is the electrical source, the source which we have in the form of voltage current. Sources are there, we can say a generator is also there. Electrical energy input sources, or we can say the electrical energy input from source. Then we have the mechanical energy output plus increase in store energy in magnetic field plus energy losses. This is the energy balance equation. Now the input is only electrical, but my dear student, in output we having the mechanical energy output here, but we having the increase in store energy in magnetic field. As I earlier told you that magnetic field, we can say in magnetic field we have the stored energy. We can store energy in magnetic field. Okay, so store energy in the magnetic field, and then we have the losses. So that is the energy transfer equation, and this is the balance equation also. So electromechanical energy conversion. I hope you understand this thing. Now moving forward, now this is the energy conversion process, we can say the energy conversion process. Now if I am talking about the energy conversion process, my dear student, so electrical energy input from sources. Electrical energy input from sources, that is resistance loss. I already told you that is resistance loss means I square R, that is copper loss. Now converted into mechanical energy output, as we all know, plus friction and windage. Two things are there: friction and windage loss, plus increase in stored field energy, that is core loss. That is what? A core loss. And core loss, I already told you, two types of losses are there: eddy current and hysteresis. Now see, what is eddy current? If a magnetic flux cut with the help of with some rotating part of the coil, or some rotor we can say, if it cut the flux, what will happen? The flux cutting means EMF induced, but we can say some EMF induce and move through the body of that conductor. If some flux move through the body, or we can say some EMF move through the body, so we can say some flux in the core, in the coil, converted into electrical field, but some having on the body. So some are the leakage. So that is the leakage flux, due to the leakage flux, self flux, and we can say the leakage current, that is eddy current loss. That is what? Eddy current loss. Another one is hysteresis. So, my dear student, in my previous lectures, I earlier told you about the BH curve. In this unit, you having also BH curve, but in the first unit, I already told you about the uh, theory of BH curve. So that BH curve is basically the curve drawn between density and intensity, and we having a relation between BH, that is B is equals to mu H, permeability into H. So we can say one thing: the permeability into H we have. So that curve says you, first, the electrons or ions in a ferromagnetic material are scattered. Okay, if we are giving the apply, now they are coming in the aligned manner. Then we having the some knee point, then we having the magnetization increasing, linear knee point, then magnetization, then we having the equilibrium state, that is saturation at certain voltage. Okay, after this, what will happen if I give supply more? Now the saturation does not take place, and it basically reverse of it, means reversal of magnetism. So that is the hysteresis loss. So two losses are there: eddy current and hysteresis we have. Now friction and windage loss take place in the mechanical losses. So friction, if one thing is rotating like this, that is friction. And what we do basically in motor, we place some brushes on the commutator to carry the current, from the commutator and transfer to the terminals. So brushes touches the rotating part. So what will happen if rotor is rotating, something is there, what will happen? It basically the friction take place, and if friction is take place, what will happen? The size is reduced. If size is reduced, then current carrying capacity is also decreased. So we have to change as per the maintenance time to time. Okay, so we are having the friction. Now windage loss is basically wind plus h. We can say wind plus h in a simple way. So wind pressure is there and h is also there, so they make a loss. If we are using poles, for example, if I'm using a motor since 15 years, so 15 years is a very long period, and in that long period, if no winding take place, means if we are no maintenance take, we are not basically did the maintenance of that motor. So what will happen? They having some part in this is become loose. The friction, basically the bearing will lose it. Why? Because if wind pressure is there, then friction take place. Opposite of it, force apply, then friction take place. So what will happen? The wind plus h, we having this thing. Due to this, the again we having a loss. So they take place in mechanical, or if I'm talking about the electrical losses. If I'm talking about the electrical losses, my dear student, so in electrical losses we have what, my dear student? The copper loss, that is I square R loss. That is what? I square R loss. Though now, for the lossless magnetic energy storage system in differential form, we can write dWe is equals to dWm plus dWf. Now what is dWe? Is id lambda. differential change in electrical energy input. We are considering this thing. dWm is what? Fm dx. Differential change in mechanical energy output, that is force. dWf, that is the differential change in magnetic stored energy. Means we are considering the three part: electrical, mechanical, and magnetic. So we are considering they are loss free. No copper loss in the electrical field, no friction and windage loss in the mechanical field, no core loss, RL loss, magnetic loss. Hysteresis eddy current loss occurs in magnetic field. So we can make a simple equation. dWe is equals to dWm plus dWf. And we can also consider it like this: I into d lambda, Fm into dx, and dWf, that is for the magnetic field. So I hope you understand this thing. Now moving forward. So simple equation we can write. dW is, we can write EI. E is voltage, and E we can write, and instead of E we can write what? d lambda by dt. d lambda by dt. So if I'm playing, if I'm basically placing the values in the equation, so it will become dWe is equals to d lambda by dt. I dt is equals to id lambda. Id lambda, because what happened? dt to dt cancel out, though we having id lambda. Now, here is the voltage induced in electrical terminals by changing magnetic stored energy. Induced in basically the E is what? Voltage induced in electrical terminals by changing the magnetic stored energy. So we can write like this: dW is equals to EI dt, dWm plus dWf, that is what? That is the mechanical energy, and that is the magnostatic or magnetic field energy, we can say. Together with Faraday law for induced voltage, form the basis for the energy method. Basically, what it formed? It formed the basis of the energy method. Faraday law for induced voltage. Now, force law tell you what? Whenever there is a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. Due to that force, torque take place, and if torque take place, it will start rotate. Now, if rotation take place, what will happen, my dear student? That rotation of rotor cuts the cuts the flux lines, flux linkage. If it cuts the flux linkage, so as per the Faraday law, what will take place, my dear student? EMF take place. If it is closed circuit, then current take place. So that is why the line written here is: together with Faraday's law for induced voltage, form the basis for the energy method. Okay, I hope you understand this thing. Now moving forward. Now energy in a magnetic system. Okay, so consider the electromechanical system below. We can say a schematic of an electromagnetic relay. So my dear student, in the electromechanical system, we can say the electromagnetic relay is what? Now see, we having a resistance and input supply, that is of voltage. We apply a supply on it. If supply apply on it, what will happen? I earlier told you several times, I told you this thing, that what? If current meet with the turns of coil, then ampere turn take place. And ampere turn is what? Magnetomotive force. And magnetomotive force is present in that circuit. And if core is there, and that core is having the reluctance, property of magnetic material that opposes the creation of flux. Property of magnetic material that opposes the creation of flux. So what will happen? MM by S or R, flux will take place. Now flux is moving. Now flux move here or not. So we having what? A movable part. What having? A movable part. Due to this, force take place, and if forces take placing, now it moves. Spring for the controlling torque. Spring is for the controlling torque. It take place when current take place. If current is not there, it's again closed. So just similar to your relay, just similar to your measuring instrument. In measuring instrument, we also do this thing. We give current. Due to that, magnetic field take place. Due to this force apply, pointer moves on the scale. If pointer is moving on the scale, then deflecting torque and controlling torque. Deflecting is moving like this, controlling is moving like this. So if they came in the equal position, the pointer stops. And if we don't give the supply, then deflecting torque will become zero, only controlling torque. So again pointer comes into the initial position. So similar to that one, we having what? Immovable part, and that is movable part, and spring for the controlling motion. We having the reference position at x, that is the gap we have because we are applying the force, and axial and perpendicular to the pitch. We are considering on the pitch, so perpendicular to the pitch, that is L. So I hope you understand energy in a magnetic system. That is what energy in a magnetic system. And how energy take place? I earlier told you, my dear student. Force is there. Due to that force, torque take place. If torque is taking place, so there will be an energy that basically moves that one. Okay. I hope you understand this thing. Now moving forward. Now, energy in a magnetic system. Previously, energy in an electrical system. Now, if I'm talking about the energy in a magnetic system, though the mechanical force Fm is defined as acting from the relay upon the external mechanical system. Due to take place how it take place due to the external mechanical system which we having on it. So we having the external mechanical system, and the differential mechanical energy output of the relays dWm is equals to Fmdx. dWm is equals to Fmds due to magnetic system, magnetic field. Then substitution dW is equals to what? Id lambda gives is already we have, and dWf is equals to what? Field Id lambda. It is from the electrical minus force. It is Fm dx, the force we have in the magnetic system. So the difference of it, we are getting the what? Magnetic fields energy, a force. We can say or not. We can easily say this thing, my dear student, because we are first giving electrical input, converting to the magnetic field. That magnetic field, force apply on it. So when the laws apply on it, then we have the torque. Due to that torque, what will happen? It start rotate. So if it is rotating, so we can subtracting or take a difference, we getting the this form, magnetic energy. Okay. Now, value of WF is uniquely specified by the values of lambda. The WF value is uniquely specified by the values of lambda and x. The x is already given here. That is the x, and F we having already. Now, since the magnetic energy storage system is lossless, now what we are considering here, the magnetic storage system is lossless. Okay. Now, moving forward. Now, energy in a magnetic system or energy in magnetic system simply. So we having this thing. We can make with this. Now, differential change in magnetic store energy. We having some differential change. Now here we can write what? Id lambda. That is the energy we have. So Id lambda we have. So that is the graph showing you what? The d lambda is gap. Lambda is whole thing. I with the current. So df is equals to dwf. We having what? Id lambda. So we can find the I is there and some differential change in it. So that is the d lambda. So we can say energy in a magnetic system. So energy we have, my dear student. Why we have energy? First we have in the force. That is electromagnetic force. How? A current can conductor plays in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. If force applied on it, due to that force, something is there, start moving like this. So what happened? Force, the initial position is this, final position is this. So we can say the difference between it basically produce a torque perpendicular on it. Yesterday or the previous lecture, I told you in my previous series of lecture that how torque takes place. Okay, so due to this torque, it will start rotate. So the energy in magnetic system is basically this, and dWf basically what? Differential change in magnetic stored energy. Okay, that is we have in this equation. Just go through it. Try to understand this thing. Energy stored in a magnetic system. We have this thing. Okay, I hope you understand better understanding this thing. Now moving forward is energy in magnetic system. So it is looking like this. That is d lambda. Here is showing like this, and this is the line we showing the energy we have basically. Okay, so I hope you understand. Now, energy and co-energy. Energy and co-energy. So that comes from the BH curve also, BH characteristic. So that lambda to I characteristic, which I already basically showed you in this thing, that is a lambda I. So the lambda I characteristic of an electromagnetic system depend on the air gap length, how much air gap we have, and the length of it. So it is totally depend on that thing. And the BH characteristic, that is what BH characteristic of the magnetic material, and BH characteristic of the magnetic material, that is intensity and density of magnetic field. Okay. Now for a larger air gap length, the characteristic is essentially linear. Larger gap is essentially linear. The characteristic becomes non-linear as the air gap length decreases. If air gap length is decreases, we can say the basically the characteristic becomes non-linear. Lambda 2I characteristic become non-linear. If I having the larger air gap, then we having linear. If I am talking about the non-linear, means we having the air gap length decreases. Air gap length decreases. So I hope you understand. Now energy and co-energy. So we can say two things are there. For a particular value of air gap length, the field energy is represented by the red area. The field energy is represented by the red area between y-axis, lambda axis, that is, and lambda I characteristic. That is what lambda I characteristics. Though we having y-axis is representing lambda and axis is representing the I, that is correct. Though the red area between lambda axis and lambda I characteristic. The blue area between I axis and lambda I, that is this representing this thing. The characteristic known as co-energy, the energy which is along with that. The field energy is represented by red, and then there will be co-energy. Though two things are there, one is the field, another part is the co-energy. So I hope you understand this thing. This is about the electromagnetic energy conversion. Now these are the some MCQs for you. An electromagnetic energy conversion device is one which converts. So I already told you. What is the coupling field used between the electrical and mechanical system in energy conversion devices? Magnetic system. The developed electromagnetic force or torque in an electromagnetic conversion system acts in a such direction increase. A physical system of electromagnetic energy conversion consists of a stationary part creating a magnetic field with electrical energy input and a moving part giving mechanical energy output. If movable part is kept fixed, the entire electrical energy will be stored in what? Stored in what? Or zero? C. C. The answer. The formula for energy stored in magnetic system of linear motion 1 upon 2 mv square we have. For a linear electromagnetic circuit, which of the following you know? We having these two. Recently we have studied. Okay. So I hope you understand this thing. Okay. Now the magnetic force or torque developed in a physical system at such direction as tends to how it works. Now consider magnetic relay. As I earlier told you, so we have studied this thing. Magnetic store energy density of iron is given by, and the presence of parallel alignment of magnetic dipole moment is given by which material? Paramagnetic, or electromagnetic. So these are the some multiple choice questions related to this lecture. I hope you understand. Now these are the some references which you can also read this thing, and I took some material from it. So these are the A. Phil Gerald, Ashfaq Hussain, Stephen J. Chapman, and Gopal Keturi. These are very good books available in our library also, and you can just go through it. These are having a good content in this. Okay, so this is all about from my side. Thank you for listening. I hope you understand about this lecture. I hope you understand, my dear student. So this is all about from my side. Thank you for listening. Thank you, my dear students.